You guys, we seriously need to talk about what's unfolding in this entire David case, because LAPD has just released some updates. Not the kind of updates anyone was hoping for, but at least we're getting crumbs. We're also diving into other developments connected to this case, and there's a lot more to unpack. Last time we covered the David situation, things had already taken a very disturbing turn. A Tesla, left for months in a Hollywood impound lot, was inspected after reports of a strong odor. Inside, authorities found Celeste Rivas, missing for over a year. The car, registered to singer David, real name David Burke. At first, fans assumed the car must have been stolen, since David was on tour. But everything shifted the moment Celeste was officially identified. People started switching up fast, reacting to every new detail that surfaced. The discovery that really shook people: David had a tattoo identical to Celeste's, the word shish inked on a finger. Internet sleuths quickly dug up photos of them together, alleged Discord messages, and even a leaked demo track where he referenced a girl named Celeste. Then things escalated even further when people noticed he'd recently been spotted with another girl, also named Celeste. So the internet asked, what's up with him and girls named Celeste? Fans were side-eyeing David hard. His concerts with funeral themes, caskets, dark staging, suddenly it all felt much more sinister. Old interviews resurfaced, where David described his alter ego, a Tammy, a criminal version of himself who commits crimes that David later solves. He even mentioned a music video where a Tammy is discovered in the trunk of a car. That context, beyond unsettling. Officially, he hasn't been named a suspect, but the internet is deeply suspicious. Since then, he's canceled both his US and European tours. His label and management pulled promotion for his music completely. And since Celeste's identity was confirmed, he hasn't posted a single thing online, despite being active before that. What's making everyone even more uneasy is the silence from LAPD. So the internet has basically launched its own investigation, digging through archives, old clips, anything they can find. A private investigator has even been sharing updates online based on what he's uncovered. And let me tell you, people want answers, fast. LAPD finally spoke up, confirming the Tesla had been parked in the same spot for weeks before being towed. That led investigators to believe Celeste had been inside for quite some time. Captain Scott M. Williams said she was placed in the front trunk, but the medical examiners still haven't determined cause or manner of death. Some online speculate that if David was involved, it must have happened before he left on tour, since, as far as we know, he wasn't in LA after that. Then, just days after Celeste was found, David's family home in Texas was swatted. On September 18th, a 911 caller claimed there were gunshots, screaming, and more. Police stormed the house heavily armed, but when they arrived, David's parents answered the door, shocked by the accusations. Inside were 4 people, but no sign of David. Officers determined there was no real threat.
Right now.
Guys, watch my video from earlier today where I shared the fact that David went back home in between shows earlier this month and how he used a private jet to do so. Well, since I posted that video, I was sent a couple of things, documents, and I was also in contact with someone who is directly involved in all of this. So I want to clarify a couple of things. So the first thing is that, according to friends of Celeste, she was last in communication with them at the end of July. We don't have a specific date. We just have a rough ETA, end of July. She stopped responding back to messages, stopped sending messages out, okay? Now, David was supposed to be starting his Wither tour on July 30th, 2025. That is according to original merch that he put out for this tour. He was supposed to perform in San Francisco on July 30th. He was supposed to perform in Phoenix, Arizona on August 1st, and then was supposed to perform in Del Mar, California on the 2nd and on the 5th. The first 3 shows, however, were canceled. He didn't start his tour on July 30th. He instead started the tour on August 5th, 6 days late. So I'm wondering why shows were canceled and why his start date for tour was ultimately pushed back. Is it a coincidence that the time period that he was unable to perform just so happens to be the same time period that Celeste stops communicating with her friends? Now let's fast forward to August 26, 2025. David is away and he's on tour. A neighbor in the area where his Tesla was ultimately abandoned called and complained over this vehicle being left there for, quote, an extended amount of time. David's Tesla is abandoned, i.e. parked on the side of the road for weeks up to a month without being moved. If David was responsible for Celeste's death, he had to have done this before he went on tour. Now, I know earlier today I posted this video right here of David in between shows. He posted this video on September 1st, 2025 from home, and it was posted to his prayer page, and I assumed that this was his home in LA, but I was looking at his older TikTok videos and it appears that this home is actually his mom's home, his childhood home, and this is in Texas, which would make sense. He took a PJ from Canada to Texas to perform with Kali Uchis on August 31st, 2025, so it's probably likely that he, instead of flying all the way back to LA, just went to his parents' home in Texas. So right now, based on the facts, I don't see any proof indicating that David flew back to California in between shows while he was on tour. Could he have? Definitely, but if we're just going off of facts,
no report was filed. It was a false swatting. Meanwhile, TMZ has been following the case closely and pointed out another huge question: the Tesla's cameras. As you know, Tesla cars can record video of anyone near the vehicle, but only if Sentry mode is turned on. If it was off, then there may be no footage. TMZ also noted the Tesla Model Y is capable of alerting the owner if something's wrong, like if the trunk is left open. The app can send push notifications if the trunk stays open for over 10 minutes. So if someone loaded something into the car and took too long, David could have been alerted. But there's no confirmation he even used the app or had those alerts turned on. TMZ also shut down a major rumor: Celeste was not pregnant. Screenshots of alleged Discord messages made it seem like David had said she was. But they now appear fake, likely photoshopped. According to her certificate, Celeste wasn't pregnant and hadn't been for the past year. Captain Williams also clarified, at this stage, LAPD is not pursuing any suspect or person of interest. That's huge, especially since so many fingers online are pointing at David. As the investigation continues, disturbing details of Celeste's home life are emerging. An ex-boyfriend from middle school claimed she had a troubled home life, was mistreated by her mom, and ran away. He said, "No one cared. I should have done something." It also came out that in March of last year, Celeste's sister went to a liquor store in Lake Elsinore, asking to see surveillance footage, hoping it would help track her down.
So you mean to tell me that they have not named David as a suspect as of yet in this whole Celeste Rivas Hernandez case, you guys? So I don't know if you guys saw Good Morning America this morning, but they're saying that, they still haven't named him as a suspect in this whole thing. They're trying to see what was weird to me is that they were trying to say on Good Morning America, they're trying to figure out if a crime actually was committed. And I said, that makes no sense, Good Morning America, because clearly a crime was committed if the little girl was found in his Tesla. Okay? I don't know. I don't know what the police know at this point in time, but what we do know, what they're saying is that the family allegedly was aware of this relationship between the singer David and their young daughter, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, which is sick.
The store owner handed over footage to the Rivas family, trying to help. This wasn't the first time Celeste ran away. According to the same store owner, she wasn't a wild girl. He often saw her come in to buy soda, chips, gum, but law enforcement sources said she kept running because of a troubled home life. And so the situation grows more disturbing by the day. Honestly, it's left people with more questions than answers. No official statements from David, nothing new from the authorities. Most assume his lawyer has told him to stay silent. No posts, no comments, especially since he isn't considered a person of interest right now. But online sleuths are relentless. They're analyzing lyrics, pulling old clips, connecting timestamps. The public is not going to let this go until they have clarity. Because at the end of the day, a young girl was found in a horrifying way, and there's still no justice, no closure. That's what's driving people crazy. I really want to know what you guys think about all this. I'll keep you updated because it honestly feels like this is nowhere near over. Love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.